Howdy everyone, I'm gonna get my feet off of the desk. Welcome back to the Lunar Geeks Out channel. Today we're doing something completely different. This is being recorded on the 11th, which is not only Veterans Day, it is also Remembrance Day and Armistice Day. So, all three of those are fairly important to me, obviously with what I do. And I wanted to do something to commemorate them. And there's not going to be a music reaction like I've done on the channel in the past, because all the stuff I'm aware of that's about topics that fit, I've pretty much already heard all of it. So it's not really worth it to track something new down or fake a reaction to something I've already heard. So I just wanted to really talk about history. I'll get into the things I grabbed in just a second. But so history is something that is very important to me, my collection and all that. At the risk of sounding kind of cheesy, kind of sappy, I truly would not be who I am today without all of this, and I truly would not know what I want to do with my life without all of this. So it is something that is very important to me. So yeah, probably noticed I shaved, and I think I swallowed some shaving cream, so my throat is not doing too good right now. But see, I mean, it is something that this collection is without a doubt one of the most important things in my life, which you know, maybe it shouldn't be, but it means a great deal to me, and history is something that's very important. Like, now, there's probably none of you think this, but for the sake of the argument, there's someone watching this who's thinking, why do we need to care about history? It's not important, it doesn't affect us. Well, the thing is, it does affect us. I mean, with World War One, that had been my great interest, the one that I'm mostly going to focus on here. The world would truly not be what it is today without it. I mean, just the fact that it set the stage for World War II and caused World War II to happen alone. Obviously, it's more complicated than that, but World War II most likely would not have happened without the First World War. And not just in name, of course, but so many things. History, it shapes the world, and we need to understand it to understand the mistakes we've made in the past and to avoid them. If you'll allow me to get a little political for a moment, we've just had a big election, and there are two things that really stand out to me with this knowing history. The first is somewhat disputed, and that is the voter fraud that allegedly has taken place, allegedly hasn't taken place. It's a convoluted matter. I myself am of the opinion that there has been a significant amount of voter fraud. I'm also of the opinion that it is not as serious as some make it out to be, but it is serious enough that it should be looked into and taken care of properly. But in elections in the past, we have seen this kind of thing happen. I remember reading accounts of people from Venezuela and Cuba, I believe, who say the exact kind of thing that we have seen happen in this election. Hold on, where did I put it? I'm going to stick this up on the window, so you're not getting that little sort of line of sunlight even down on, and it is still there. Well, not much I can do about that. Anyway, this is something we have seen happen in those elections, and Chavez and Castro, not the best. So, and then with Biden, general consensus seems to be that there's going to be some level of socialism that comes in, and I am also of the opinion that socialism and communism are very much bad things. And there's an argument that pops up all the time of, well, we've never tried true communism, and well, we've never had true communism. We've certainly tried it. Every time communism has been attempted, it has ended in disaster. It doesn't matter if we have had true communism or not. We've never been able to achieve true communism. That is the issue. And now, I admit I am no expert when it comes to politics, and this is very much my opinion and not fact, but these are just the examples I can think of. And this is also not me saying, oh, Biden is terrible, Trump is great. I am by no means a Trump supporter either. I do not like either of them, and this is, again, just me taking some examples where you've seen this happen in the past, and we do not seem to be learning from the past to avoid potential issues. So, that is just an instance in modern times that I feel history is something very important, and then, of course, the importance of remembering those who have fought, those who have fallen, everything. I mean, with modern times, these people are still around, and we need to give them respect. Even if we may not agree with the army, even if we may not agree with joining the armed forces, they still did something that is, I would say, deserving of respect. I consider myself a pacifist, but I'm still going to respect those who served in the armed forces because they deserve it. So, with that, but with those who are fallen, I mean, yeah, no one's gonna. Most people don't know who these folks are. Most people are never gonna know who these folks are, but we should still remember them. I mean, I've got family members that I'm one of the few people in the world who even knows their name, and that's why this is so important to remember them, because I'm one of the few people in the world who knows their name. I can trust by now most of you have seen the, I think it's Disney Pixar film, Coco. I know it's Disney, I can't remember if it's a Pixar one or not. And, if the people aren't remembered, if they don't have their photograph up on the mantle or whatever it is, little thing, I've forgotten the proper name for it, but if they don't have their photograph up and they're not remembered, they cease to exist. And no, I'm not of the, I don't really believe that it's exactly like that. I don't really believe in sort of an afterlife like that, but very much I am keeping their memories alive with these items in my collection. And some of these things, I'm never going to know who these people are. I can never truly share their story. But I'm still giving them some semblance of immortality almost by documenting them, by taking care of these items, all of this. And I feel that is the most important thing about my collection, and why it is so important to me, and why it has really helped me discover my career path, my passions, all that, because I truly feel like I'm making a difference in the world when I'm not someone who can go and do something like become some, great inspirational leader, or I don't know, insert other example here, but I can sure as heck go and try to become a museum curator and keep documenting this stuff and keep taking care of it. So, I'm just going to talk about a few items from the collection and really the importance of them in particular. And then at the end, I know y'all subscribe to me for music, so I'll give a few music recommendations that on this day I feel should be listened to and watched and everything, and then wrap up the video. So I hope you enjoy. And I know this is a very different one from what I normally do, so if you want to head out, if you don't care about it, I can't stop you, but I am going to ask you to stick around for it, because it is, at least today, if I could get it up on the 11th, it is something that is very important. So, let me get into the items I grabbed off the shelf real quick. So this right here is my great-grandfather's journal, Claude Mulwee, who fought in World War I, and just, page right there, just some text on it, and I'm not going to try to take that out. There's a poppy in here from Flanders Fields, 102 years old, maybe older. If you head over to my Instagram account or document my collection, you will see that post there. At the time of uploading, it will be the most recent post, but it is something fascinating. There's also newspapers and stuff in here. I need to look through all this. So Dang, that's a photograph I didn't know existed. That's pretty cool. But, yeah, there's like some old photos in here, some newspaper clippings, like poems and stuff, and it's just a glimpse into his past. And then this is a typed up summary of it done by my grandfather. On the back it reads, just in pen, History of CMM, France, World War I, Claude M. Mulwee, whatever the middle initial stands for, but just 4 sheets just like this, just a typed up summary of it. And here's just first entry. Private First Class Claude M. Mulwee, Company K, 116th Infantry, American EF, Expeditionary Force, I believe. APO 765, January 22nd, 1919. APO, I do not actually know what that means. And then in, I'm about to butcher this pronunciation, in Lisbonne, France, and then April 3rd, 1919. So that, and then just goes through his story. Here's one from, this is actually the specific page that I mentioned, where I took the photograph, over the top. It was on the morning of October 8th, 1918, at 5:30 a.m., when we heard a great rumbling back of us, and the hills began to reel and rock. And it just goes on and talks about his account of going over the top, which that phrase originates in World War I, apparently, so just a fun fact for the day. But, let's see, just one, there wasn't very much on the 14th, but a few men killed and wounded. The boring days of the war had death and destruction. It's insane. Where's this one in here I'm looking for that I find amusing? Well, I have no idea where this specific little passage I'm remembering is, but he just talks about Thanksgiving. They didn't have anything to eat, and it's just the way it's phrased. I just find it. Oh, it's on the first page. What do you know? Ate Thanksgiving dinner, Parnot, France, November 29th, 1918, but I didn't have any turkey. Just find that amusing. That's the one complaint that stands out to me is whole thing. The only thing I remember him complaining about, and admittedly I haven't really looked through it, but that's the one thing I remember him complaining about, just no turkey on Thanksgiving, and there's something about that. But drink of water. Like I said, throat is burning. That's better. But so I'm gonna share a bit of a story. In the meantime, you'll have some photographs of just equipment of his, photographs of him, all this that are edited into it over top. So you'll have something more to like it than just my ugly mug. Is that even a phrase? I don't know. Anyway, so you're joined to find the war. I don't know too much about that. So this is going to be very much the Cliff Notes version of his story. But a few things I do know about him. If I remember correctly, he did get gassed at one point. He would have had a Purple Heart that unfortunately got stolen before it was in our possession, but that would have been awarded to him post-World War I once the Purple Heart was created for that instance, I believe. And somewhere else, probably also stolen before he got it, unless it's one of the papers that's here in the journal, he would have received either a medal or some other form of commendation for one heroic act that I do very much want to share. And in fact, I'm going to run and grab one item that is very much related to it real quick. So, jump cut. I lied, I got 2 items, but so these go together. So, this is his spyglass, which actually still works, amazingly. I can't see the phone, it's too close. But, so, he used this, and because of using it, got these. So, hopefully the glare isn't too bad on that, it probably is. So, that's out of the way, I'm gonna step on that for a little while. And I'm gonna set that in the chair. So, he was in the Argonne Forest, most Argonne offensive, and got pinned out there with some other men in the trenches by a nest of German snipers. One day, he had enough of it, used a spyglass to track down these snipers, circled out behind him, took them out. And so as the soldiers did back then, looted one of the Germans, just took a bag of stuff, if I remember correctly, and that guy happened to be the barber of the unit, so that is how I have a shadow box of barber's gear and a belt buckle from a German soldier. And just amazing little story. It's nothing crazy, but it's just a fascinating story, and even more fascinating that hundreds of stories like that, maybe thousands, exist, and nobody knows them because, you know what I mean, you've got your Alvin Yorks and your Manfred, shoot, what's his name? Your Red Barons and your those are the only two war heroes I can think of. There are more, but you've got your fair share of those guys. But the ordinary soldier, they've got their fair share of heroics, and nobody talks to them because they're the ordinary soldier. They're not the ones the media, the newspapers focus on, and so they've fallen into obscurity. So that's something that, to be able to have a story like that within my family and to be able to document it is fascinating. So let me get next little thing. So these are three little things. This is a New Testament metal cover. Probably didn't sound much like metal. That probably sounded more like metal, but these are somewhat famous. Soldiers would wear them over their heart, and bullet hits that, maybe it'll stop. And then of course there's like some symbolism, like the word of God protecting you or something. I'm not gonna dive into that because that is something that I don't know if that was actually intended or not. It's just like, oh yeah, that's some symbolism right there. But then this individual right here is my great uncle, Uncle Malcom, and fought in World War II. That is all I know. I need to track down some information on him. Ancestry you have to pay for, so I'm just gonna have to get a friend to take care of it. But it's he's an example of, I've got the name, I know slightest bit of the story. That's it. I've got his bayonet for the M1 Garand. I have no idea if that thing saw combat or not. It's confusing. It's kind of sad that I'm never going to know the story, but it is something that I am most certainly going to work on tracking down because it is very important to know it. And then, I'm not going to bother to grab any items. They're all the way over there, and I've already walked over there. But there's my grandpa Mulwee. So, I didn't much like my grandpa. He was racist. He was a pathological liar. He kind of smelled. House was a mess. He was not a great guy. But see, he was part of the military. He was Cold War, fought. Well, joined the military to fight in Korea. Got sent out day after Korea ended. Stationed over in Germany. Can't remember what rank he started out as, but he left. He finally retired from the military as a captain, I want to say. He actually got demoted at one point to teach in the National Guard, because apparently you have to be certain rank to be able to teach, and you can't be any higher rank, so it's confusing, it's complicated. I'm not going to go into it because I know next to nothing on it. But he was in the military for a while. I've got a lot of his stuff, so I'm thankful to have that stuff. And, I'm, as much as I like him, and I don't really respect him, I do give him the honor that is deserved, the remembrance that is deserved, because he did serve in the military. He was from a different time. Or being racist, it was kind of acceptable. It shouldn't have been, but it was. So, it shouldn't have been, but I'm not gonna hold it against him too much. Nothing to be done about it now. But it's important to even these people who aren't all that cool to take care to remember them and keep their memory alive and everything. Then I've got a few other items that are named. I've got a World War I corrected English mask named to a Lester Joseph LaFray. Well, an L.J. LaFray. We're pretty sure it's Lester Joseph. Got a bit of info on him, but I need to track that down again and confirm, so I'm not going to go into it. I've got set of photographs that I'll just edit those in, that I believe are named to Andrew Lauren. I'm not 100% certain on the last name. I am certain on the first name. If I end up reading it again, like, oh, I messed the name up, I'll, down below and with some text, I'll edit in the proper name and everything. But there's just some random finds at the antique store, 2 photos, same guy, so I might as well pick them up. I want to pick them up if there was another photo. There was just some random World War I soldier. I don't believe it was named, so I wasn't interested in that one. Also, it's like $75. It had the frame with it, so those ones, it's like 12 for both, something like that. Named. I could get some info on the guys, so I figured I might as well. I've got a uniform named to J.E. Jackman. It's in remarkable condition. Current theory is it's his going home uniform because it has no patches on it, and like amazing condition. Like, because I'm seeing one loose thread, and there's like fading or the little patch on the inside, and that is it. So that was just a wonderful find. And I've got a German GM17 gas mask, also known as the Lederschutzmaske, which I may be mispronouncing, which is named to a W. Krause. I'm not sure the proper German for W, so that's just another named item where I'm never going to know the story with them. There's some other things. I've got 3 photographs I'm looking at right now. 2 of the same guy, 1 of someone else. Came from the box of family photographs, so they're probably family members. I don't know who. One of them has text on it. It's too faded to read. The other one says France in July or something like that. You'll be seeing the actual photographs. You'll see what it says on it, but I don't know who those people are, but I've got their photographs, and then I've got a photograph of some German soldiers from World War I that, again, I don't know who they are, but I'm keeping their memory alive. And then, let's see, the other things I've got, you can sort of see the corner, there you go, sort of the corner of it right there, is a newspaper from June 6th, 1944, which is the date I hope most of you will know what that is. That is D-Day, Operation Overlord, Invasion of Normandy, from the Spartanburg Herald, old family item. And I mean, to own a piece of history like that is amazing, because like, to have, like my Adrian helmet, or my my British civilian gas mask or whatever. Those are cool items that certainly have some history to them, but something like that is a specific event, that is documentation of that specific event, and it looks pretty dang cool as well. So it's a very nice one to have. And then there's one other newspaper section, name I can't remember off the top of my head, but some guy from Cowpens or sort on my where that whole side of the family's from, Grandpa Mulwee, Grandpa Mulwee, all of them. So they've someone they must have known, I guess. It's not someone related, I believe. But let me grab the next item I'm going to talk about. This is a German M16 Stahlhelm shell. I mean, absolutely amazing item. Outside, barely rusted. Inside, there's a bit more rust on it, but it's really just a little rougher. It's not bad rust at all. It's just the shell. It's in decent condition. Like inside of the shell, see, there's one of the little chin strap attachment things or whatever it is. Other one is missing, but that's decent. It has a couple scraps of what I believe to be the original paint. There's some yellow, there's some white, I think I've seen some orange or something like that somewhere on here. I'm not seeing it now, but it's got a couple dents. There's 2 right here, which are very small. There's one on the side, which is a little bigger, and then this crack, which seems to originate from it, so I guess just tension there or force from that or something. But then there's this one here, which actually I think has a very, very thin crack on the inside of it. But this, absolute mystery. Not sure what caused it. I say it's from, I've said it's from a bullet, now I'm going at likely battle damage. You know what, to portray it as accurately as possible, and since I don't know the exact cause, I'm not going to say a exact cause, but this thing definitely saw some combat, so just, I mean, with arms like this, just imagine what they could say if they could talk. I'm never going to know the story of this thing, but God, it's got an amazing one, I swear. And then, let's see, I've got a little script right here in front of me that's just, these are the basic talking points, so let's see. Next, my Adrian helmet. You can actually see that one on screen, so I'm not going to pick it up, but it is remarkable condition. I think a couple patches of rust, but not a lot. Has the original paint on it. And the amazing thing about that, let me slide up. The amazing thing about that is it is not just one shade of paint. It is both light blue and dark blue paint, which I could be incorrect on this, but I believe that means it was around more or less the entire war, because light blue is early war, dark blue is late war, so that is just remarkable. And then an additional interesting thing with it, it's not the original liner in the helmet, which, you know, if it was like a reproduction, I'd be like, oh, come on, really? But that's an old liner for an Italian M33 helmet, which means that this helmet most likely... Phone storage just ran out, so I had to transfer the file. I was talking about the liner, that helmet. I'm just going to wrap that up. Italian liner for the M33 helmet. Most likely saw Italian usage post-war. I need another drink. I messed up my throat by talking like an old man. Anyway, back to the collection. World War II German gas mask canister has, actually, you can see remnants of the original paint on it. Well, I hope you can see. Anyway, very rusted. Still got a little container right here. I can't get that open, so. But this thing, apparently, found just a barn in France. So, again, most likely saw some combat, and this, again, imagine the stories this could tell. I'm gonna set that down. I ain't gonna bother going to get it. Then those ain't visible in the background. Gonna turn the camera. You can see those masks right back there. One on each end of that upper shelf. Not the one on the top. That's with the aviation mask and the helmet. The ones below it. Those are an American M9A1 gas mask and an American M40A1 gas mask. Now the M9A1, nothing too much on it, but just going off of condition and everything, most likely was used by a soldier. You're probably not in combat, given that it's the M9. And then the M40 is named, has a story to it. I don't know what that story is. I do know the person who owned it. I'm not going to say their name for their own privacy. As with everyone else that I've mentioned, that's family member. I feel safe saying their name, or it's someone World War I. Again, feel safe saying their name. But with him, I rather not reveal his name and his story and everything without his permission, of course. But it has a story to it, so again, something that is very important to preserve. And then the final thing, actually, let me grab this one. This is a Korean-era dress uniform with original patches and everything. No idea what that is, but it's a funky little mountain with a little snow cap, so that's nice. And, these were a gift from a family friend, and have a story with them. We still need to contact them again and ask for the story, but sure as heck has a story to it, so it's a nice one to have. Final thing I want to talk about, my great-great-great-great-grandfather, who I'm actually going to grab the photograph of because it actually has the story on it. This is a photograph of my great-great-great-great-grandfather. He was Civil War, this is very much post-Civil War. This is a scan of it from 2005, taken at Walgreens, technically taken October 3rd. But it has a bit of a story on the back, so I'm just going to read that off. James Washington Quinn, born 1842, fought for Confederates, drove a mule team, and wounded at Battle of Bull Run. Married after the Civil War, fathered 5 boys and 1 girl. She is grandmother of Uncle Buddy. I don't know who Uncle Buddy is, but it's just pretty. This was a pretty crazy find. It was a couple months back, either September 5th or September 6th. I don't remember which one specifically, but it was a Saturday. Anyway, finally got my mom to help me track down a box of old family photographs, so we were going through it to see what military ones were there that could go in my collection, and just to see what else was there, honestly. And we found some great ones. Pretty much every family photograph that'll appear in this video, aside from a couple of my great-granddad and a couple of my granddad, were from that box. That one, though, I just picked that one. I was just like, hey, an old guy. And then flipped over and was like, oh dang, this is really cool. There's also some photographs of a cat that I'll hopefully be able to edit in. And there are also some pictures that I don't think I can edit in of some fat kid playing the accordion. Those are the best things from this set, of course, the cat and the fat kid, but I'll take a Civil War veteran. But talk about great-great-grandpa, or great-great-great-great-grandpa, that's 2 less greats. I don't know anything about great-great-grandpa. But that's about all the items of the collection I'm going to talk about. So let me give a few music recommendations real quick, because promised I would do that, I think. So the first thing I'll talk about is the full discography from a band, 1914. They are absolutely phenomenal, and most of the stuff is going to be about World War I, but 1914 is absolutely phenomenal. Not too long ago, I bought their Krause Folk und Vaterland discography, which was their first album, The Eschatology of War, their tracks from the split album they did with Minenwerfer, and then the Krause Folk und Vaterland EP. Anyway, it's a really cool whole thing, and then they've got one more album, The Blind Leading the Blind, and then actually they're apparently in the studio recording some new stuff now, so I'm very much looking forward to that. I would highly recommend them. The first few things in the list are basically 3 music projects that really, to me, are the perfect World War I music projects. And 1914 is, just phenomenal. And their stuff, I would say, captures a wide range of the darkness of the war. You've got the rage, you've got the despair, you've got just the depravity and violence. It is some phenomenal stuff. But then there's Minenwerfer with the recent, their 2019 album, I'm about to butcher this, Alpenpasse, which is about the Alps in the war, and it is one that truly captures the despair. And then there is Stalag 328, which actually I believe is the same vocalist as 1914, with their album Kriegsfreiwilligen, which I believe roughly translates to War Volunteer or something like that. But these 3 are very hard to listen to, in order they said it gets harder to listen to them, with 1914 being some black and death metal, Minenwerfer being full on black metal, and then Stalag 328 being noise, industrial, something or other. They really capture, I would say, the violence, the despair, and the fear of the war in that order. And for me are something that can just for a moment transport me back to that conflict and give me even an inkling of understanding of what it was like. And then there is the track Lest We Forget by Bolt Thrower, which just, I mean, it is November 11th, Lest We Forget, a very big thing with that day. Something related to that, I would have been wearing the poppy today, but COVID wasn't able to go get one from the veterans, the VFW folks, so, they just told me we'll wear this cool shirt that just, you've probably seen on camera before, but show it again. It's a nice one. Random thing my mom found, so yeah, thanks for that. And then another Bolt Thrower track, Through the Ages. If you follow me on Instagram, not the account for this channel, but my other account, I posted something that had that track in it, in my story today. But it's phenomenal. It is just this really, really good riff with just over top of it all. The vocalist for the band, I can't remember which one it is at that period in time, but they just list off wars and how long they lasted and maybe a couple other things about them, and I think it's just mankind's destructive nature throughout the ages, and that one just, like, it really hits you, I guess. Then there's 2 Iron Maiden tracks, The Aftermath, which is another World War I thing, lots of that in here, like I said, which is about the soldier, the aftermath of the war on the soldier. Knowing the effects of the war on soldiers is a very important question to ask. And then the track For the Greater Good of God, which is essentially it really sums it up at the end, which I'm very much going to paraphrase. It's not going to be the exact lyrics, but it's basically like, if Christ gave their life for us upon the cross in order to save us, why are we continuing to kill each other? Why are we continuing to wage wars? And I think that song is somewhat about holy wars and not just war in general, but I'm just going to say the final thing. I don't know where I was going with that track. That's your fault. Final track, final album, which still is an album, is Foreign Skies by the Dreadnoughts, which is probably the easiest one to listen to. It's folk punk about World War I, and I absolutely love that album. Seriously, if you're not going to listen to any other track, listen to the track Black Letters. It's about the letters that are sent home when a soldier is killed in action, and that album is just amazing. So, yeah, if you made it to the end, thank you so much. You have no idea how much that means to me. Just thank you so much for watching. The other folks, thanks as well. You should have stuck around to the end. But, you know, if you could, leave a like on the video, comment, subscribe, all that. You know, you get asked that by every YouTuber pretty much. I know that, and you're tired of it, I know that, but seriously, it does help the channel out. And beyond that, it makes me feel better seeing that people are seeing what I'm doing and reacting to it and caring about it. So, just, if you could, I'm not gonna tell you to, but if you could, I would love for you to do so. Also, in the description there'll be a link to both my Instagram pages. There'll be the one for this specific account. You'll get behind the scenes stuff, you'll get announcements for videos coming out, you'll get other nonsense that someone fits in. I'm thinking of doing maybe a song of the day or a song of the week or something, where you could just share every week. I guess I just share, you know, a one song that I'm really vibing with right then. And then the other one is my personal account, where I say personal account, the main purpose of it is to document my collection. With the topic of the video today, I felt it wise to share that one. If you want more history content, and if you want some more history content, check that out. If you want some more music content, check out the account specifically for this channel. Yeah, again, thank you for watching. Next time, I will be doing some music stuff. I'm gonna do some album reviews soon. Next time is gonna be a reaction video, either to one of Baby Metal's live performances, or a Necronomidol music video. I just need to figure out which one I want to do first. But that'll do it for today. Till next time, I'll be seeing you.